So the sample special conditions that I've got here, we go to the blank contract and we go back to the area where we have these special conditions that we can list here. I want you to be aware of exactly what special conditions you could ask your conveyancer to put there. Always ask your conveyancer to word them for you. And an electrical special inspection condition. So you might be conducting your physical due diligence and you might think that the electrical system to the home is not in very good condition. In fact, it looks like it's from 1961. So you might say to your conveyancer, I'm concerned about the condition of the electrical system. Can we put in a special condition that says that, for example, the buyer can request an electrician to check the wiring and electrical systems within 5 days? Or a contemporaneous settlement condition. So this coordinates the settlement of two property transactions to occur simultaneously. For instance, you're purchasing a new home, but this home, the one you want to buy with this contract, but you can't buy it until you've sold your first home, the existing home that you own. So you could ask your conveyancer to say, well, actually, I don't want to be contracted to buy this one if this one doesn't sell in a certain period of time. That's what that means. Your conveyancer will word it appropriately. Pet approval condition. So imagine you're buying a unit in a set of units and you want to find out if you can have a dog. You need a special condition so that you can have that approved, because you don't want to go buy a unit if you have to give up your beloved best friend. That would be very uncool. A soil test condition. Perhaps you want to do something with the property after you've bought it, but you're not sure if you can because you need the soil test to determine if you can do that with that block of land. Subject to sale condition, very similar to the one that we listed above. However, your conveyancer will potentially name them differently or word them differently. The due diligence condition. Now, this can be a catch-all. And if it's not a hot seller's market, if it's a buyer's market, you can actually put a special condition, which is a due diligence condition, saying something like, you require a due diligence period of 14 days to conduct your due diligence and verify other things. What is your due diligence? I don't know. You can just say due diligence. If it was a seller's market and they received multiple offers, they're probably not going to like that being in a special condition of the contract, because it opens them up to a lot of, well, they don't know what your due diligence will be. So it could be anything from checking the tree roots to, for example, providing 21 days for the buyer to assess the property's suitability for a specific business use. So that's a catch-all condition, which can be quite powerful for a buyer if it's in a buyer's market. Other sample special conditions is a sunset clause. Now, I would never begin to even attempt to word this correctly. However, an example of a sunset clause, quite often they're used for off-the-plan properties, okay? So these are homes that are sold before construction is complete, such as apartments, townhouses, or house and land packages. And a sunset clause sets a deadline for the developer to complete the construction. So you've put your deposit down on a house and land package and you're supposed to have it finished within 18 months, and it's not. So then you can get out of that contract because the home wasn't ready for you. That's one way that you can do it. I think they've recently changed it because there were developers who were cancelling contracts because homes, the prices of property had gone up so much recently that they were not making as much money as they could. So they were using it to get out of contracts that way and then resell them to other people who were going to pay more. Early possession allows the buyer to take possession of the property before settlement. So that means that, okay, you've got nowhere to live and the owners, the sellers don't live there anymore. So they're saying, okay, in the contract, you can move in before settlement. We don't mind. That is something that could be put in as a special condition. Another one is a rental guarantee. So the sellers might stay on and rent the property from you for a while. Maybe you outline that could be 6 months or 6 weeks, paying you rent whilst they stay living in it until they move out. Maintenance. So a special condition in the contract might be that the seller has to conduct specific maintenance responsibilities before settlement. And that's just outlined in the contract. And so I've also got a link here, and amazing, this link. It is by two different conveyancing firms, and you can hop in there and have a look at their special conditions that they have actually worded in terms that conveyancers use. You can have a look at that, and that might give you some insight into what you can then request your conveyancer to put into your contract, because I'm just making you aware of it. They are making you aware of it. It's up to you to go and make your own conveyancer aware of it. Okay. Now, that's enough about the special conditions in a contract. I'm now going to cover the cooling off period and do that in a separate video.